You have always had one rule in high school. Don't make a fool of yourself in front of Jungkook. Naturally, life responded with challenge accepted. Jungkook, the boy who sat 2 rows behind you in the homeroom, never spoke unless forced and had a face sculpted by the gods and the attitude of a slightly annoyed cat, was your cool crush. He wasn't just hot, he was mysterious, unreadable, and wore his school blazer like a fashion statement. He walked the halls like the main character of a K drama who absolutely did not care if the school was burning. And then there was you, clumsy, always tripping over air, spaghetti brained, known for dropping your pen exactly when the room was silent and shouting sorry like it was your catchphrase. You had no business crushing on someone like Jungkook, but did that stop you? No. The chaos began on a Monday. You were brushing your teeth, mentally running through your to-do list, and thinking about Jungkook's unfairly sharp jawline, purely academically of course. When lightning struck the transformer near your building, the lights blinked, your phone buzzed weirdly. And when you go to school, everything felt slightly off, like the universe had exhaled and tilted your world just a little sideways. You walked into class already panicking about forgetting your history homework when your eyes locked with him. Jungkook, sitting at his usual desk, black hair falling into his eyes, sipping black coffee from a thermos like he was already 32 and emotionally unavailable, you thought in your brain. Not said, I wonder if his lips taste like coffee. And then he choked, full on coughing, nearly dropping his thermos. You blinked. He glared in your direction like you would personally hexed him. Okay, weird, that wasn't the only moment. During lunch, you walked past him in the corridor, internally screaming, don't look cool right now. You look sweaty and confused after dropping your tray of rice. He turned, looked at you, smirked. You froze mid-scooping the rice off the floor, like some deranged squirrel, and he just walked past. No one else noticed anything strange, but you. You felt it, like he knew what you were thinking. It got worse during literature class. You were staring at the back of his head, like a creep, thinking something really poetic, like, if I die today, bury me face down in front of Jungkook so I can keep looking at that stupidly pretty jawline in the afterlife. He turned around with your eyes raised an eyebrow and mouthed, seriously? You shrieked internally. Oh God! Oh no! Oh God! You stared at your notebook, trying to manifest the ability to sink into the floor. By the end of the day, you were spiraling. Your speed walked home like your thoughts were on fire because, let's face it, your brain was a crime scene, and if Jungkook could somehow clear them, you were doomed. That night, you paced your room like a lunatic, whispering to yourself, he can't read minds. That's not real. I'm just paranoid. Maybe I have inhaled too much whiteboard marker, or maybe I have a brain fever. That's a thing, right? Acute romantic fever. You paused, then added, please don't be hearing this, Jungkook, please. But the next morning, he passed by your locker, paused, and said without looking at you, romantic fever sounds serious. You should see the notes. You dropped your entire school bag, and as he walked away, hands in his pockets, that teeny smirk tugging at the corner of his lips, you knew John Jungkook could hear everything inside your head. Oh no, he can hear my thoughts. Then you decided to stop thinking about him. You did everything possible to stop thinking about John Jungkook, which unfortunately made you think about him even more. It turns out, when you can't think about someone, your brain rebels like a toddler denied candy, and Jungkook, well, he seemed to be enjoying your suffering. It started during chemistry class. You sat 2 rows away, staring hard at the periodic table like it personally offended you while your thoughts screamed. Do not imagine Jungkook in a lab coat. Do not imagine Jungkook in a lab coat. Oh no, too late. And then he turned smirked, raised a bow, and whispered just loud enough. Sulfur is explosive just like your brain. You dropped your pencil against the teacher's side. At lunch, you tried avoiding him altogether. You picked the farthest table in the cafeteria, hoping the corner of loneliness would protect your thoughts. But Jungkook found you, of course he did. He slid into the seat across from you like he had been doing it for years. You froze mid-bite, eyes wide, internally begging, "Please don't hear what I'm about to think. Please." Oh God, his lips look so soft. No, bring, why? He leaned in, chin in hand. Soft, huh? You dropped your chopsticks. He grinned. You were not surviving this semester. Why are you doing this to me? You hissed after class, catching up to him near the lockers. Jungkook looked amused. Doing what? This following me, reading my brain like it's a podcast subscription. He smirked. You think very loudly. You scowled. Can you stop? He shrugged. You are the one narrating your life like a K-drama character. You opened your mouth, closed it because, yeah, fair, that week became a circus. You were the ringmaster of your own chaotic brain, and Jungkook was the front row audience eating popcorn and enjoying the show. You would trip on your shoelace and mentally scream, "End me." Jungkook would whisper, "Not today, sunshine." You had dropped your water bottle and mentally win. "Why am I like this?" He'd reply, "That's the $1,000,000 question." You were convinced. He lived to fluster you, but what made it worse was that he wasn't mean about it. He was teasing, yes. He was judgmental, never. He had cast your books before they fell, slid his jacket over your chair when the class got cold, pretend not to hear your more questionable thoughts, like the time you imagined what he would look like, wet from the rain. That one, he never let you live down. Then came the library incident. One day in the library, you were looking for the history section, mumbling internally about how you would rather eat shark than write another essay. Suddenly, Jungkook appeared beside you. He said, "I can't let you eat shark." You gasped. "Why are you here?" He leaned closer. Your thoughts are loud in libraries. Your breath hissed. Do you ever turn it off? "I can't, not with you." That made your brain shut down entirely. Jungkook looked at your red face and softened. He murmured, "I don't think you're weird, you know." You blinked. Really? "I think you're funny and kind. You think of the world like a movie, and I like being the lead." Your brain short-circuited. Jungkook added, "Also stop worrying about the freckle on your chin. It's cute." You turned into steam as you blushed, turning other side. The next day, everything changed. You woke up determined to act like a blushing idiot every time Jungkook came near. You failed spectacularly when you saw him under the cherry blossom tree after gym, white shirt clinging to him, hair damp, water bottle in hand. Your brain went, "Don't fall in love, don't fall in love. He's just genetically unfair, not your fault." He looked up, smiled at you. That smile was lethal. You tripped over your own foot again. That night, as you lay in bed, hugging your pillow and thinking thoughts you really hoped he would muted by now, something hit you. He wasn't just cold, unreadable. He chose to listen to you and not just the embarrassing stuff. He heard the little things, the quiet fears, the way you worried about disappointing your mother, the way you wished you had more friends, the way you doubted yourself when you looked in the mirror. he never laughed at those, never once. That weekend you found yourself wandering into the park. He was already there, tossing a basketball with Tyong and Jimin. He noticed you instantly without a word. He walked over and handed you his jacket. You frowned. Why this? You thought it might rain? You looked up. Clear skies. You looked back at him and smiled. Because somehow he had started listening not just your thoughts but your heart. By now, Jungkook had officially graduated from cool crush to walking emotional crisis. Because how were you supposed to function normally when he knew every thought you had? Worse. He didn't seem to mind. In fact, he was always around, leaning against lockers, walking next to you without asking, handing you your favorite drink before you even said it out loud. It was as if he was slowly replacing your internal monologue with his real life presence, and every time he smiled, your brain just turned into static noise and soft violin music. Things reached a breaking point the day you stood in front of your locker, staring at your reflection in the metal door, thinking, I'm totally in love with him. You didn't say it, you thought it, and he was right there. You hadn't realized he had been walking by until he froze mid step. You turned slowly, he was staring straight at you, his expression unreadable. Your heart dropped, and then he walked away. No smirk, no witty comeback, nothing, just silence. You skipped lunch that day, locked yourself in the music room, which always smelled like old piano strings and dust, and tried not to cry. It's fine, you told yourself. Of course, he wouldn't want someone who narrates every emotion like it's a rom-com script. Of course, he wouldn't like someone who accidentally thinks about his abs. You thought were spiraling. You even tried mentally yelling, forget, I said that, just delete it from your brain, Jungkook. But he didn't come, he didn't respond, he just vanished from your day like he never existed. The next morning, he still wasn't at school. You sat through homeroom, heart pounding, eyes flicking to the empty seat. Okay, you told yourself, maybe he's just sick, maybe he caught a cold from reading my warm, fuzzy thoughts. That didn't even make sense, but you weren't in the mood for logic. At lunch, you sat alone again. The seat across from you remained painfully empty. Your classmates laughed in the distance. You stared at your untouched sandwich, thinking of all the things you had never get to say out loud. I didn't mean to fall for you, it just happened. And if you hated it, why did you always come closer? That's when a shadow fell across your tray. You looked up, and there he was, John Jungkook, backpack half slung over his shoulder, eyes soft but unreadable. You opened your mouth, but nothing came out. I needed a day, he said, to think. You blinked about. He sat down. About what it means, he said, to hear someone's thoughts and fall for them anyway. Your breath caught. His voice lowered. You didn't choose to tell me everything, but I got to hear the real you, all of it. No pretending, no filters, just the you that talks to herself when nervous over things, teeny things. And imagine weird scenarios like kissing me in the rain while dramatic music plays. You cringed. You heard that one? He chuckled, yeah, that one was vivid. Your cheeks burned. But you know what I realized? He said, eyes locking on yours. I liked you more with every thought I heard. You couldn't look away. I liked the way you worried about your mom, the way you always root for people, even when you feel left out. I like that your brain is messy and loud and kind. He leaned closer. And the thought you had yesterday about being in love with me? Your breath hissed. That one was my favorite. You stared at him, heart racing, then whispered, "So, you don't hate me?" He laughed softly. "I think I'm addicted to your voice, even the one I." Thank you for watching.